Cheers.
Welcome.
Hey, y'all.
Skillbo to say, welcome to the Bro Show. Nobody fucking did
Welcome to
Welcome
the
to-
Bro Show live.
it. You Red. You're the
Becca had it last time.
Martin. You have that dark, deep voice.
I was trying to get into the chat for the late sesh.
What? You're the
So
wrong
they
show.
got the late sesh one ready for Monday night. And I was trying to get into that one. the live chat.
Welcome to the late sesh. Is that what you're saying? You're gonna-
I was like, why won't this fucking work?
Oh, that's
the
why.
premiere.
Yeah, I'm smoking Drake's chemo.
Well, if
Good
you're
stuff.
perusing YouTube, don't select tomorrow's premiere. Select tonight's premiere. However, if you had selected tomorrow's premiere, you wouldn't have been able to hear me say this anyways. So cheers.
Oh, hey, y'all. Goodness.
How was your weekend? What's going on? What's growing on?
What isn't going on?
Good weekend.
We just flew home. Becca's dad's happy birthday to Becca's dad. We got to listen to a singing that simulated a firework. It was actually a strange little cannon candle that looked like a bong. It was really cool. It had a little wick coming out the top. It was like a bong tube with like a little wick coming out the top, and then you lit the wick, and it looked like the bong was like smoking, and then it fucking cannonballed a little poof of mushroom cloud of sprinkles. Fucking most ridiculous, funny looking thing. It was great, actually. And then there was this carousel candle that they put on this thing, and this thing sang happy birthday and spun around and opened up like a big blooming flower of fucking fire hazard, and it was phenomenal as well.
Apparently the most exciting part of our weekend.
Yes. Compared to everything else. The whole weekend's a blur. We'll maybe get to it, but let's hear what everybody else is doing today. Cheers. There was a cannabis-friendly event going on today. We can get to that.
Go for it.
I want to hear what everybody else has to say first. This is what is it called? Content for like to talk about.
I off the record by saying it's the first time that I ever fucking told Red to go on. So
yep. and the first time that I said no to that option.
And the first time he said no. So this is a historic event. What episode is this?
Write this down on the
I
calendar.
have one video.
Oh yeah, that was one of those. We were supposed to tell everybody what episode it was. Thank you for joining us for episode. Fill in the blank right there. Becca says 170, and it is the Bro Show live.
There it is.
I'm going to take the voice from you now. Baked, how's your weekend?
Hey, it's been good. Tara came over today and we trimmed up some outdoors, so I only got 3 plants left, which is a godsend.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass. But we got it done.
He found out that I'm a slow trimmer.
Yeah.
He kept looking over at me. I was like, what are you looking at? And he's like, just see how much you got.
Well, we decided, we were like, well, she's like, I wish we would have brought some smokes out here. And I was like, well, shit, we can go take a break. And I thought she was almost as done as I was with my plant. But so then I finished my plant and she was just there. And I was like, well, I'll just chit chat.
You actually put her to work. Like when I
Oh no, I offered. Totally asked for it. Asked what I could do to help. Yep.
We sit on my couch and watch the Ted Bundy tapes with the M&Ms in between us, and that's how we trim. It's not all serious like that.
No.
It was fun. We were yik-yakking about everything.
If I sit down and have the TV on, I won't get anything done. So, plus I don't want to bring the outdoor indoor.
Bring the TV out there then.
Yeah. I have no Wi-Fi out there.
Get it done. That's a fucking excuse.
But yeah.
We need Wi-Fi out there.
Well, he warmed it up real nice out there. It was real chilly.
It is nice.
And whew, I didn't even need a coat.
That insulation is awesome too. It holds it for a long time.
Great job, guys.
Yep. Got a quote for that, so I'll probably get some of that sprayed soon.
It was like 65, 70 degrees out. So baked, you got that on your going for you too. It's been fucking.
Not over here.
It was only in the 50s.
It was supposed to be nice, and it was like in the 50s and muggy and like kind of chilly. So I was like,
damn, that sucks. We had.
Yeah.
I mean, it was yesterday. Obviously, it was a windstorm like crazy. It was. We had gale warnings here, and I'm pretty sure we had gale force winds.
What classifies a gale?
I don't know what the speed is. Probably upwards in the 40, 50 mile an hour range. The members of our panel.
People don't.
And I want to just give one out to everybody out there. As Skilbo would say, this is your friendly reminder and PSA to fill up and check the gas and or start your generators, make sure they're working, or go source one before their store shelves are empty on them. This is not a fuel PSA. This is strictly just a generator PSA.
But run them outside. Don't run them inside.
Most importantly, God, run your generators outside, please. Don't put them in. Don't even run them in your garage, especially if it's attached. They can stand a little rain.
Yep.
Well, I had an interesting text message this morning. Speaking of our weekends,
What's that?
from our neighbor down the street, which is across the street and down the way a little ways, who is like the local wildlife woman. Like anytime there's a squirrel that's fallen out of a tree and it's broken its back and crawling across my yard, I call her and she takes it to a local vet or some wildlife place. She's just this amazing one. Anyway, so she feeds the birds and she has all these stray cats all the time that she feeds and asks me if I want another home, to house another stray cat. So she sends me a text this morning with a picture of my cat at her place saying, "Is this one of yours?" And of course, it's my Hunter. And I was like, "Oh my God, I didn't realize he was going that far. I thought he was just going like in a couple yards, on the either side of us. And he's going across the street and down the ways. And so I was like, oh my God, yeah, I didn't realize he was going that far." And then she proceeded to lecture me about how she didn't want him there and he's hunting her birds. And I need to, if I'm going to continue to treat my indoor animal as a wild animal, which it's not, then I need to take care of it better by putting this fencing along my fence so I can't keep him inside my fence. And I'm just like, what the fuck? If anybody knows me, they know that I'm like the world's most lover of my animals, and there's no way in hell I would be doing anything to endanger him. But she sent me this big, and then was sending me all these links to all these fencing things, and was like, as a responsible pet owner.
So she wants you to unethically contain your cat rather than allowing it to free range itself. And
because
I would ask her why she believes she owns the birds in the neighborhood. She said they were her birds. Did she buy these birds? Does she have house birds she's letting out?
Okay, I'm glad that you guys side with me because I was in Florida. I was like,
Joji sides with you too. He wants the cat to have free range because it might end up in his yard. You might get a snack.
My cat is keeping everybody's houses critter free, mofos. They should check for some fucking pest control.
I would
watch out, mofos.
If there's an ordinance that she can list to explain to where this is mandated by the Human Health and Code and Safety Acts and ordinances of.
Yeah, it probably is mandated. Actually, it probably will make you have to have a licensed, animal, and that it can be only. In your yard. There probably is a mandate. It wouldn't surprise me. I don't follow them, but it wouldn't surprise me.
America.
I'd be surprised if they've got cats.
I was floored.
No corporations have gotten to those sides of people yet. So.
And she doesn't have anything else better to do with her life either. So just remember that too.
Yeah, there's nothing she can do about your cat.
I know. But I was like, dude, I thought we were friends. The F, man. Crazy. So yeah, now I feel like I can't let my cat out. So
Yeah,
my
that
kid
is
sits
weird.
at the door going,
It's getting pretty cold anyway.
You can get a harness and a leash.
"Oh yeah, he's not having that."
I've seen cats that go on hikes.
Now that
Take on
he's
one hikes.
experienced wild hunting and the thrill, he's like a serial killer. He's like he'd be like putting him in jail and then letting him out again, but only like with a tether.
What if you dressed him up?
Are
Relax.
you saying I'm supposed to have sympathy for a serial killer that's being prevented from killing? Is that what you're suggesting?
I mean, no, but I'm just saying I'm likening it to that.
I just want to take some pictures.
I'm saying you can't cage him again and let him and have him be okay. That's my point.
Is she worried about the cat
It's
safety?
okay. It's okay that there's millions of victims out there, as long as he's not caged. Is that what you're saying?
You guys were all fine.
I'm just trying to get.
Is
I'm
it a
just trying to figure
victim
out
if
what you're
it's an
saying.
ecosystem?
Yeah, what's she so mad about? The bird or the
The
cat?
circle of life. The cats kill the birds. Something kills the cats.
Dogs usually,
Yep.
or automobiles.
Yep. That's what I'd be worried about. Is just all the traffic around there.
I know, man, and that's why I'm concerned the most because I didn't realize he was going across the street. So
Yeah.
that's what concerns me. I don't care if he's eating her bird. I mean, I do, but
Wait,
about that.
The cat ate her bird, like her pet bird.
No, they're like wild birds.
Oh,
She's a bird watcher. It
Wild
sounds
birds.
like.
yeah. I mean, they're gonna eat each other too. So what does it matter if your cat eats it?
So a
Birds
wild
eat each
animal
other.
ate another wild animal. What's
Crow's
the
gonna
problem?
eat them.
Because
Yeah.
Spartan, because he's my pet, he's not a wild animal.
Hold on? Did she
That's
catch?
what he said.
Did she catch your cat and like send you a picture of it caged up or something? Or
She has cameras. She has her ring cam.
oh,
So
And then
she sends me pictures all the time in the middle of the night of like random cats saying, "Do you know this cat? Does this cat have a home?" And I'm
Oh,
like,
You
this is
should
a
totally
crazy
dress up
lady.
like a cat and then just like get on her ring camera as like a giant cat and see if she brings that footage to you.
Get the footage.
A
Get
cat
out
in
of
a
here,
hat.
I might
bird.
know that cat.
Get a hat, a cat in a hat, a little cane. Just do a little dance.
Yeah, cat in a hat. Dude, we could go on with this for like weeks and months. We could just like have like different, characters come through. I'll come through dressed as a cat one night.
Here comes Tom and
Just
Jerry.
Meow. We could have a whole Cats performance. Remember that?
oh man.
Cats.
Sometimes if we start doing that, they're gonna think it's for one lady down the street that yells and screams at everybody.
Oh, she got fired up too the other day because there's construction workers doing a new roof on the people's house across the street, and they parked in front of her house. And these young guys must have said something, did something too loud, and set her off. And they were like,
Oh
"He's
man.
screaming!" I could hear I'm like, "Oh damn!"
This is why we haven't done any of our illegal chicken coop building until after 11 a.m. I don't run a saw until after 11 a.m. because
Nice.
we have to be discreet with our building right now. Even though what we're building does not require a permit or any permission at all, it feels kind of ridiculous that we have to like hide to build something in our backyard. But here we are. This is our
The underground chicken coop.
yeah. This is the life we
This
live
is
in.
historic.
Everything's regulated, including what you do on your own freaking
I'm
property.
sorry. It is a legacy chicken coop. Get this
It
right.
is a damn legacy chicken coop.
Legacy.
It's not moving. It's not going anywhere, guys. It's like it was
I
built.
thought you were gonna put wheels on it.
If I have to move it, I'll put wheels on it. But there's no wheels on it. No, that's a chicken. That's a portable chicken tractor, chicken coop thing that you would move around daily or something like that. If we have to move this thing, I have to put wheels on it and treat it like a chicken shaw and fucking chaw it fucking out of there.
Yeah.
The run is detachable, so it can come into actually the run will fold apart into multiple pieces. The whole thing should come out into 4 pieces. The run is 3 pieces because there's 3 walls, and then there's a ceiling, a roof that's fucking huge, and then there's the coop which weighs probably a good 1,000+ pounds. all in all, though, it could come apart and be shipped and transported. So get yours today. I'll put it together. It will take me a mere 6 weeks. And yeah.
That's actually not bad these days as a
We
lead
have to
time.
finish it. No, we have to finish it by Tuesday.
Yeah, so we're literally getting this thing done.
You
in
hear
like
them. Order now. They'll finish it by Tuesday.
doing ours in 2 weeks.
Oh.
Yours may take.
They didn't say the dollar amount though.
Yeah.
Did not say the dollar amount. Those
That's
are,
how you know it's expensive. You don't talk about the money. You don't put the money on the.
no.
You just say call us.
Order
Give
it.
you a
You
price.
order it first. We will
Pay
get it
later.
finished, and then we will require payment when we're done.
Yep. That sounds right.
Paint lady said, "Talk to the hand." The hand.
She's bringing that back.
You're muted.
Camera always does that. Sorry. Always goes blurry. Talk
Interesting.
to the hand.
There was another part. What was the last part?
Never
Talk to.
done that in my life.
There's another part to it too. What was it? Talk to the hand. It got shortened to talk to the hand before. It was something.
Talk to the hand.
Talk to the hand
must
because
speak.
the face
Leave
don't
message
care or
up to the
something like
beat.
that.
Something doesn't care or something.
I think it's the face don't care.
It's something like that.
I never heard
I
that.
knew it was. I just couldn't remember it.
Oh, I guess mine was way different than what you guys are thinking.
It's must be different in different localities.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yep.
I had a busy weekend. I did some work. I made some RSO. I made the process of making butter. It's in the freezer right now, and then a bunch of stuff in the garden. But I've got 2 more to harvest, so my flower room is down to just 2 plants right now. 2 plants in my flower room.
Yeah. That's sometimes nice.
Yeah.
No, we still haven't even started our indoor yet. We were talking about it. We gotta. I don't know. He didn't think I wanted to do it after the last time. I was like, man, I've kind of enjoyed having all those lights and fans and everything. And I'm like, no, I mean, I want to do it. Of course, I'm just not looking forward to the work again a little bit because it's a lot of work doing the whole thing and
Yeah.
but cleaning the room and scrubbing the pots and getting everything ready and the lights set up because that whole room needs to be full timer instead of just a veg room. So now I got to switch all the other lights over instead of just the blue spectrum.
Yeah. You could do beds in there. Like because you like organics. You could do big beds and then just.
I told
Then
him,
do something like blue mat drippers where you're just filling up the res with water.
yeah, I think he does want to do some sort of automated system.
Yeah, that would make it a lot easier.
Yeah,
And,
so we'll see what he ends up doing. I told him to have at it.
yeah,
Automation does make things nice. We really only fill up our reservoirs like once a week for the most part.
oh yeah.
Yeah,
So we really only water once a week. Makes it easy. But I mean, it's a time consuming process filling up a whole bunch of reservoirs. But we also like separate each reservoir throughout the week, so like a reservoir will last a week and we check on everything a few times a week, but we fill each reservoir differently.
Yeah.
Works out nicely so that everything like we're not out there for like 12 hours at one period of time filling reservoirs. We're always filling reservoirs, but yeah, the automation is very handy when you have other things to do because otherwise you need a full-time trim crew, harvesting crew, leaf plucking crew, and all of that other stuff on top of just normal odds and ends. Like what happens when something spilled and you have to clean that up? Well, there's time, task, a ball burns out and you have to like get up there and let's say it's a day where you have to like do your water and stuff and your day's already booked, but you have a bulb out, so now you have to like rearrange your canopy so that you can get above it to
What's a bulb?
It's a bulb. Oh, I know you guys and your LED.
Future!
We used to have to rub 2
The
sticks
future.
throw golden
I'm
filament
just
into the
kidding. I'm the
sky.
bulb guy at work.
And if we rubbed the sticks fast enough, the golden filament would glow above our plants and it would give us powerful light.
What are you talking about?
That guy in the background.
Pre-Thomas Edison days, of course.
Are your HBS still red?
Yes, I am still using the Edison bulbs. I'm
Hey,
still,
it produces good shit.
still rubbing sticks together.
Your weed is always good.
Thanks.
I got some GMO here that's phenomenal with them HPS lights. So
Thanks,
keep
Tara.
doing what you're doing.
She's stanky.
We got some serious compliments from the GMO. A lot of compliments were like, "Wow, I haven't smelled GMO like that," and that was an interesting one. A couple people were questioning the GMO-ness of the GMO.
I like that guy. He was like,
Oh, yeah.
it really was on.
It was a good
It's really
GMO.
good.
Well, the difference a lot is full term. There's a full term aspect to it. You know, we did take it 80 plus days, and there's still a bottom half of the plant
Nice.
growing for another weeks than the rest. So we're gonna take it better part of 100 days.
Hell yeah.
Your last batch was good, but this is great.
The last batch was
Pulled too soon.
it was pulled with everything else, and this time
you can tell the difference.
yeah, we
Like,
going
just-
the distance.
We felt at that same point that we pulled it last time. We looked at it and we're like, let's wait a couple days and check on it. And it just like kept bulking up. It kept getting stinkier, and so we just let it go.
yeah, the flavor really likes to mature. That's one of the reasons why I take everything full term into like that little shade of amber or whatever, to where you're getting some yellow leaves, purpling out and all that. It's just it's where the flavor peaks out. The cannabinoid profile, you know, is going to go up and down, and if you're searching for THC, there's a prime number to hit. But I don't think that like peak THC is when the flower's ripe. I think that there's a point to where THC does peak out before the ripening stage, and then part of that like ripening is the THC converting into CBN makes it ripe. You know, I think that's the ripening. Maybe that highest point of THC is just kind of like a premature facet of it, you know, and as it matures, it's really getting that more full because there's not much CBN. Once you get the CBN, now it's full spectrum. Now you have the full profile. You need, but you still have THC. THC doesn't disappear. It doesn't degrade completely. It's still there. Your level is just not 30% anymore. It's 29.9. You know, I mean, is it negligible? Or,
No.
you know, so yeah, I'd like to go full term, even if it drops my THC percent, you know, a fraction of a percent or whatever it is, because to me it's the flavor. There's so much more.
Yeah, the terps ripen or something.
Yeah, there's a premature weed gives me a headache sometimes. Like it's just I don't know. It's like a chlorophyll thing. Maybe there's a wax thing, a fat thing. Who knows what other combinations of plant metabolites are changing while this thing ripens, just like other fruit, sugars, you know, bricks content, all of these other things. That we're narrowly focused on THC. We should broadly be focused on the overall plant itself, you know, instead of being so narrowly focused. So,
but that GMOs for sure, like Astro Charlie, who we got it from, says like 30 plus, and you could feel it. Like I only took a couple tokes off a doobie, and
I literally did not hit it 3 times, and I like sat it down for a while. So
yeah.
It got me where I needed to be, and that's what I needed. So thank you.
I had a conversation today also about it being a sativa, because so many people describe the effects as being very lethargic and like nighttime. But I'll tell you what, man, it goes 10 weeks like a sativa, and I hit it last night and not like 20 minutes. Like at first I was like, oh, I feel really relaxed. And then all of a sudden I was like, holy fuck, I feel like I drank a cup of coffee. Not because I was like had energy, but because like it hit me in my like anxiety spot.
I've gotten anxious off of it before myself, so I can get that way too.
Maybe it wasn't like sativa, but maybe it was like high THC energy.
That's what it is. Because you're just really, really fucking high off of it, because it is really strong.
We had a lot of work to do last night. It didn't knock us out. It didn't slow us down. It was actually, I've been smoking it kind of all day in hash form and all kinds of stuff, and it hasn't really done what like strawberries and cream or gorilla breath. Oh, gorilla breath. You want to talk about this? Like, hey guys, what's that's 2 tokes, man. That's like it's curtains as soon as I light that thing up. It's just the heavy hitter. Yeah, man. I that last round that we grew, I smoked the GMO, and I was like, nothing. And now I kind of like it. I see where the love for it is, Tara.
Yes. This is that one guy at the end there that picked it up from you too. I think he was really gonna love it too when he got home because he was just a little on the fence about it. But then once he smelled it, he was like, "Oh."
I hope so. So for those that have not gotten a chance to check it out, Third Eye Muse has started a safe access event in Lansing, a nice central location. And as of right now, guys, this thing is weekly through the end of the year. So every Sunday from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. in Lansing, there's a, safe access, open consumption, 420 friendly, safe place for, patients, caregivers, any consumers, anybody to like meet up. Now there is a small fee at the door, and this is to kind of cover obviously the facility and all of that stuff. It's $10, but they don't only require cash. You can actually give 3 cans. You can donate 3 canned good foods
or a used winter coat. So many different things get in the door. This isn't a cash grab. This is it's a community thing. Yeah. So you donate, either $10, but you know what? If you don't have $10 and you have like $4 or $6, run to the dollar store and grab 3 cans of food and bring them down there, and then you can get in for like $3. It's not a big deal if you can play that quick hustle. You can do that, or if you got the money, give them $10 to get in, or if you have 3 cans of food that you haven't eaten in a year, fucking give those. And so that gets you in the jacket, of course. There's like a coat rack or something that they have set up down in the basement that can just basically it's a community, coats, gloves type thing, in the food pantry, and it's all community driven. It's very cool.
Did you see they have a recording studio down there?
They have a recording studio. There's also an aquaponics garden somewhere back there too. Yeah, it's really cool. So the guy that owns it, he's got multiple little projects and things going on. But
it was really neat there.
He rents out.
It's an old church.
There's a little recording studio.
Really cool.
It turned community center. Yeah, it's called The Fledge. It's in Lansing.
What's the address?
Good. They had good food. The people that made the fried wonton nachos were there, and the tacos, they are phenomenal. That was wonderful.
Let's see. There was Yeti Stash being vended there. Yeti and Amanda came out. Shout out to them guys. It was great to see them out there showing love and support, of course. And what was cool is that there's a handful of vendors that just had their products there, and so they were there just not yeah. And then there's a handful of craft rosin artists, but then there's also like a whole bunch of like rosin, what would you call it? I don't want to like say this the wrong way, but they were like let's say like their own little like craft shop where they'll like purchase from wholesale from somebody and then sell out. I don't want to use the term broker, right? Because it's different than that. They're not just like going back and forth. They're setting up a table and they're like their own little shop, and they're like a little kiosk for other maybe they're reps. We'll call them brand reps for other people. There's a couple brand reps out there that actually our flower ends up going to as well. So, I'd like to be polite to these guys that are doing good work for the manufacturers. Then you have, so this event was the Third Eye Muse Art and Craft Fair. Art and Craft Affair. Third Eye Muse Art and Craft Affair. And so if you check out their Instagram, it's been on our Instagram, Astro Charlie's Instagram, Absurd Experience, everybody else who's been part of this. There's food trucks, there's coffee vendors,
music.
Oh yeah, great music. Was it Tubes? Tube played today, and then there was a DJ.
They're so great.
Yeah, they played at Hareem and a couple of these other events. They're pretty jam oriented. They played some Grateful Dead. I was happy with that. Heard Deal play. Don't You Let My Deal Go Down.
They come all the way from Ohio.
Do they? I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I
so
think it's around the Toledo area actually is where they come from.
the love is vast in that respect, and you know, we got to actually see a lot of supporters that come, a lot of common supporters, man, that we usually see at all the events, and they're coming through, and it was really good to see the faces that we haven't gotten a chance to see in like 60 days, almost a whole crop's worth of time, you know, into a whole new season and everything at that.
Everyone was super nice, and it was just good energy from everyone.
It is an indoor location, and with bands, it can get a little loud. So that was one of, you know, the things that maybe if somebody was to say, you know, what's the downside? As anything, there's noise, and you have to like loud talk. But once the DJ was playing, it was a little bit more lo-fi, and it wasn't as, you know, loud and stuff like that. You know, it's just kind of it's a back and forth. It was a give and take. You know, it wasn't loud the entire time, but there were some moments. But I mean, we were able to communicate. So okay, we can't hear shit, dude. We need earplugs for the Boulder shows when we go. I definitely do, because I've been to way too many live shows. But I want to get Becca some to protect her ears. We just went and saw Billy Strings last fucking Thursday and Friday night. So not only I mean, today's band was like nothing. You know, our ears were already.
That was like 3 days in a row, I guess.
Yeah, so we had 3 days in a row of live music. That was pretty cool. Well, yesterday was not a day in a row.
So you hear that baked? You get paid $10 to go in there and listen to loud ass music that's not that loud if you've gone to 3 concerts in a row and your ears are ringing already.
Or 3 cans. So it's not only 10.
Oh, okay.
It could be 3 cans. So it could be like $4.
You're not getting my Parker though.
I'm sorry, 3 cans.
3 cans if you already have them. But yeah. It's
Billy Strings was so good though,
pay
guys. He was
to
so
lose your
good.
hair. And Billy Strings was fucking.
We got to like be on the floor
dude.
Both nights in GA, which was cool. We didn't have GA tickets, but
we were like,
we just found our way down there.
We didn't get there okay, so like the Rail Riders got in line to GA immediately. We are like poster collectors and get the record and shit like that. So we went to the merch line, which is its own fucking beast at these shows. The merchandise line will wrap around a stadium twice. It's fucking crazy. What's crazy is they only have one merchandise line table. So the line just goes bonkers fucking long. And so in Kalamazoo, the line was still an hour long when the show started. So in Saginaw, they actually let everybody in the venue a half hour early than door times, and they put everybody in a staging room that had a line to get to GA and a line to get merchandise. So you could either get in line to go to the show, or you could get in line. You could go get a drink and shit too. But like, the venue wasn't even supposed to let people in for another half hour, but they allowed that. So, I mean, they're working with the crowd. It's really cool to see. And, you know, they want to make sure they want to make sure that pit's full when the show starts. Like, that's the thing is that Kalamazoo show, everybody's waiting in line when the show started. So like, you know, where is everybody when the show starts? But we did get a chance. Shout out to the Wing Center. I don't think they charge for GA. They had nobody checking wristbands at any of the entrances to GA, and you just walk right down there at the start of the show. So that's what we did.
And we saw all kinds of friends. Who did we see? We saw Kazoo, Kush, and
Eagle,
shout
fucking shit,
Shredder,
shout Shredder, 710. Dude, I looked back in one moment and Shredder's eyes were so fucking big, and his hair was like, dude, he looked like Doc Brown after he like got fucking zapped with lightning, you know? And I was like, his mind's fucking blown. That's what Billy Strings will do to you, dude. You're just fucking mind fucking melted, right? Eagle went live after he got home that night. I didn't catch it, but I caught a little bit the next morning. And shout out to him because he's got some great things to say for his first Billy Strings experience. That was not our first. So
did they have a really good light show like he did out in Detroit?
Yeah,
dude,
that was like half the fun, man. That was so good.
Simple light show. It's simple. There's all they have is uplights. All they have are uplights. There's just a bunch of uplights, and that's it. And they run those things so good. Like basically where we were like we were getting uplights on the face, so downlights, whatever the fuck you want to call them. Regardless, stage lighting was just nothing more than single, like they're like the little 9-inch, 10-inch round uplights.
There's somebody back there doing a whole thing.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's all. But what I mean is they don't have like the performance, like this huge, all the lasers and everything else, right? It's not needed. They don't even need it. They just have uplights, and like they do the performance so well with just that alone. And there's some stuff in the background, you know, on the stage, but those are just more simple LED lights that change colors. Very, very cool show, guys. If you get a chance to check him out. Shout out to everybody. Apologize if I'm forgetting who else. We ran into some more people. Some other people that talked. We'll figure back out. Get back to some other people chitting and chatting about their weekend, and we'll come back to the Billy String stuff because I feel like it's a never-ending shout out for this one.
Well, I think that's cool. It's kind of, it might not be directly about cannabis, but that's what brings everybody together. And I mean, cannabis and music, I think that's one of the best combos, man. Cannabis and music. I mean, I'd rather put on a playlist and smoke if I'm by myself, rather than put on like something on TV or on the computer and watch something and smoke. I'd much rather just listen to some fucking music. It could put me in a good mood and smoke, and that's one of my favorite pastimes, just fucking listen to music.
We were smoking doobies the whole time. It was
nice.
Show one, we brought like 7. We smoked 2, you know, in the parking lot before we got in the theater, and then like we had 5 to go to the show, you know, and we're like down waiting for the show to come on, so we're smoking 1, you know, down in GA before the lights go down. Then the lights go down, so we already got 1 there. Like, all right, cool. 5 is not enough, man, for the show, so we rolled 12 for the next show, right? Came home with a joint. 12 was enough. But,
nice.
But the thing is Kazoo lights up this hog that's like this big, and so we're sitting there fucking toking this fucking stogie for half the show. I'm not offended by the way. I loved it. It was fucking awesome. Shout out to Kazoo. He was passing joints left and right because there were so many that he had brought. We were Eagle was throwing them down. It was an awesome smoke sesh. Just like you know, and it was outside of a cannabis event. It was not a cannabis event, but it was damn near as close to one as it could get, because the crowd that kind of follows Billy Strings and the Grateful Dead is a very, very cannabis friendly crowd. It's like cannabis culture. It's where the fucking culture came from, you know. The thing is it's like everybody, there was so much smoke at these shows. It's, you know, you go to a show and there's smoke in the air, you know. It's every concert I've ever been to, there's been weed smoke in the air. But Billy Strings will fire up a fucking joint right up on stage, you know what I mean? And it gets the whole fucking crowd to light up.
I know.
It's very, very fulfilling as a cannabis consumer. To just see smoking. Like there's no concerns. You fire up a joint, like you're not bothering anybody around you because everybody is firing up joints. Honestly, the people in front of us were smoking cigarettes, but it wasn't even bothering. I couldn't even smell the dude's cigarette. There's just so much weed smoke in the air. I could not even smell his cigarette.
I didn't even know that.
Exactly, right in front of us. Couldn't even smell the cigarettes.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, dude, it was thick and beautiful at that.
And like just dirty hippies looks, man, like doing all the dancing,
Yeah.
I love it, man. It's a vibe in itself. He knows how to put on a show. We were listening to this one really interesting thing about how, you know, bluegrass fans don't like Billy Strings. We don't really consider Billy Strings bluegrass. He plays in a string bluegrassy band because there's a banjo. He's fucking metal. He's metal. He has a twangy country type thing going.
Dude, he covers metal songs, man.
Metal, dude. Yeah, he rarely lets that guitar go without any distortion. You know what I mean? Maybe during a ballad or something, you know, he'll let the acoustic swing. But if you were to close your eyes, you would have no idea he's playing an acoustic guitar. And when you listen to his LPs, it sounds a little country, but when you see his shit live, it's
Yeah.
wailing.
That's what blew my mind, man, because I'd heard his, you know, I guess we'll call it mainstream music or released music.
Right.
And then I saw him in concert. I'm like, what the fuck am I watching? I mean, what the fuck is this?
Completely different.
Yeah.
That's why I like fell in love with his music so much. Like seeing him live changed that for sure.
Yeah.
But he has done a fuck ton for bluegrass right now, because the last big thing that, you know, happened for bluegrass was Wagon Wheel. And I don't mean Darius Rucker. I mean Old Crow Medicine Show. You know, that's my, when I found bluegrass, it was Old Crow Medicine Show, Wagon Wheel. And then Darius Rucker did Wagon Wheel and kind of sort of brought back a little bit. But prior to that, man, it was Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? You know what I mean? And that's
good shit, man.
20 years ago, it was good shit. Soggy Bottom Boys. You know?
Well, Alison Krauss kind of lured me into the bluegrass areas. I don't think she's totally bluegrass, but she does a lot of duets and things or covers. You know, she works with bluegrass artists, and that kind of got me into that sound.
Yeah. And Molly Tuttle as well is a really good one. Who was up there, I think, in the last year. The top 3 bluegrass artists this year, Billy Strings had collaborated with all 3 of them for their #1 songs. So it's hard to say that he's not in the bluegrass genre.
He just has his own version of it.
He does. It's
where it comes from.
It's like a different genre of bluegrass. So I mean, if you're not into bluegrass, check out some of his, like, go to his live show. Like, that's all I can say is, like, you'll be blown away, because it's not a bunch of dudes sitting around finger picking bluegrass. It's a bunch of dudes finger picking bluegrass metal. It's fucking
and they're
cool.
Jamming out. The like bassist is like so into it. He's cool.
That's I'd say my favorite parts of the band isn't even his guitar. It's like the finger picking of the
performance
and all of them.
The banjo's cool. They wear those little like metal things on their fingers to do the banjo.
Picks.
That's got to be even harder than like
it makes my hand hurt thinking about like moving it that quickly.
The stand-up bass will it feels like the dude from Indiana Jones is like reaching in your chest. You know what I mean? Like, that's how it's like, go, like the bass. And dude, it's nothing crazy. He's just a dude on a stand-up bass. But he's hitting those strings, and you can like feel that fucking bass, man.
It's cool.
So before you guys left to the concert, did you have everything harvested outdoors, or did you have some stragglers? Okay, cool.
Outdoors done.
Finished that this last week.
Except we took these 2-3 day breaks, and like we've been working on this chicken coop. We're getting chickens on Tuesday. There's still a lot of work to do. There's still like a week's worth of work to do on this coop, you know? And
do you have to get electricity out there for the wintertime for heat, or are you just going to do something else?
No, we don't need heat. But what we might want is
we used to run heat lamps to light the heat lamps in there for them.
We have a door that goes with the sun that we just set, so that does have to get plugged in.
It's a 110
if we decide to use it.
Yeah, I want to get a little DC adapter for it and get it hooked up to a solar panel or something.
I was just gonna say I would do solar. That'd be dope.
We have to run it, or else we can't go anywhere. We have to pull their door open manually.
Oh yeah,
open it up. As far as the heat goes, they shouldn't need any. They should be able to be fine by themselves as long as they have enough ventilation. As long as there's no condensation building up inside their coop that would otherwise give them, make them wet. In which case, then the cold weather will give them frostbite. As long as they don't actually freeze, they're huddling. And,
as long as they don't freeze.
Yeah,
that's kind of the point.
Actually get water on them. Like actually get water on them that
or
like the water freezes. You know what I mean?
Well, that's another thing is if you have I don't know how you're watering them. Ours was as simple in the coop. They had a tire on the ground and then a 5-gallon bucket that we'd fill with water. They jump up on the tire, dip their head, get down there and get their water.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
You don't want that water to freeze.
Winter water is going to be a task in its own, so we're going to figure that one out. So that I'm unsure of.
That's
sure
that's the
we'll-
reason for our light too. Was that light was right there above that bucket.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll figure out some sort of a like a heating filament type of a thing to kind of keep it hot. But again, the electricity getting out there, that's requiring electricity, which we're gonna need a solar panel. Or like 100-foot extension cord. I mean, one or the other.
Sure.
I'll probably
Just make sure you got the structure for now. They're coming Tuesday.
that's just it.
That's the main thing.
Almost there, man. I gotta fix it. I gotta put the doors on.
Hang some doors.
Hang some doors. Which
What kind of bedding you gonna use? Like a straw or something like that?
I want to use hemp. The problem is we don't think that we're gonna have enough time to put in an order for anything organic. So I might have to go with a conventional bedding to get started with, which I'm almost.
What about all your outdoor stalks? Have you used it? Have you what'd you do with those? Just chip that shit up.
I've got a bunch of stuff that's.
I'm pretty sure we can use leaves as long as they're dry.
They're not dry is the problem. They've been sitting in a pile. Nothing's dry. Even if I cut the grass, it would get in a pile. I'd have to.
It was super good. You did a really good job on it, guys.
Just don't have enough nice days, right? Like if it was the middle of summer, I just cut the grass and I just leave it out. Thank you very much, Tara.
It's a lot.
It is a huge.
It's like
I'm
all
taking
we've
right now.
been doing.
Well, the
I
thing
know.
is it's we're in the shoulder season right now, and normally I would be chopping up all my leaf mulch. I would be mending garden bed. Well, by mending I mean putting the leaf mulch on my garden beds. I would be
Right.
cutting my grass like 6 different times so I could, salvage the. I haven't cut my grass in I don't think since like the beginning of September, and it's not long. It's not that it's growing; it's been dead. We've got those cold snaps in the middle of September, and it stopped growing. But it needs to be cleaned up, and there's a lot of biomass there that could be used in the garden.
Yeah, I would say I was mowing just to get the leaves up.
Exactly. So I'd like to just at least mow up the leaves every few
Can we
days.
do that tomorrow maybe and like dry out some of that bedding or dry out some of the leaves and stuff? The
If
next day?
if the sun's out enough, it will. But
Put
if
it on a
not,
tarp or something?
I mean,
Well, the thing is if it's windy, like it was today, oh my god.
that's what I mean. It's like we're getting into the season where like by the time it gets done, I don't know what kind of time you think that we're gonna have to do
Yeah.
that tomorrow.
Man, I would
It's on
I-
Tuesday. We're
I
literally
seriously was just like
we
get-
literally lost an hour of daylight last night, so now we're just even more crunched for time. You know what I mean?
Oh, you really needed some carbon, man. I would just get some fucking like if you have stalks and stems laying around, man, just one of those Harbor Freight little crappy wood chippers to like kind of break it up a little bit, or you could stick it all in a fucking garbage can, an open garbage can with nothing in it, like a big plastic one, and stick your weed whacker in there and turn it on, and it'll just beat the fuck out of them. They'll just chop them up a little bit, then take that, throw that in there, and then inoculate it with like some lactobacillus. Man, when that chicken shit gets on there, that adds the nitrogen. That's like going to be fucking awesome. You can just
That's what
throw
we
it in the pile and
That's what
compost.
we want. But I mean, you're talking about a shit ton of work by Tuesday, debucking all my outdoor plants and getting all this shit.
I was thinking you might have some stems already around. I didn't know that. What do you do with all your stems now?
They're composted and buried and
Okay.
scattered throughout the garden.
I usually have quite a few just laying around. before
Mine
I
Got
get
a lot.
We have a pile over here, but they're going to get scattered.
I literally cut them in about 2-inch long fucking cuts, and I
That's
just
what we have.
use it as top
Yeah.
dress.
I have a whole fucking yard bag full of them out by the compost pile right now. Getting ready.
Use that for the bedding for now. Shit, that'll work.
It's just too
Is
bulk.
it wet?
It's too like they're chunks of sticks. You know what I mean? It's not like shredded. It's not pithy or anything. It's like sticks.
Still, it's gonna get the birds off the ground. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
the shit and everything can pass through, and they'll be up over it.
It's
So I
just
think
not-
it'd be better than not having anything.
I don't.
Way
it's
better.
We're
absorbent.
gonna just have to find some like spray free.
Well, I do. Yeah.
The problem is everything at the feed stores is like I asked the lady if they had any organic bedding or spray feed hay. I swear I'm the only fucking person that's ever asked her this question.
Oh my God.
She looked at me like I was fucking
Nuts.
yeah, like what? I'm like, oh my god, dude, seriously? It's like that? Fuck, man. No, nobody's asking for this. Nobody. It's not on anybody's radar. Not anybody's radar to like, that the inputs are going into us, you know, and it's going into us. We all have levels of glyphosate in our blood, everybody. Just some people, it's a lot higher.
Levels of what?
Glyphosate.
Glyphosate?
Glyphosate,
Wrong with
glyphosate. I don't know, man. Potato.
Sorry.
Cannabinoid.
Question.
I'm not sure. I've heard it's pronounced both ways. I'm not sure.
What does it do?
It's a herbicide, but it's also linked to many forms of cancer. I think lymphoma, particularly, but it's a herbicide. It's in most herbicides and pesticides.
Banned in Europe.
Antifungal, and in most of the herbicides, you know, just generic shit that's on the end cap in a gallon jug with a nice little fucking spray handle that makes it convenient with a little pump and everything, so you don't have to buy it.
This is
not even Roundup. Now it's just in all kinds of different shit. The shit that we saw at the feed store was just whatever off-brand shit that literally said 80% glyphosate.
This
Means it's glyphosate and probably water. You know what I mean? Fuck,
exactly.
dude. Yeah, and so like it's not gonna kill you. You know, you don't want to drink the shit. You really don't want to get it on your skin. But most importantly, like it's going to get into your mucous membranes if you're exposed. The other thing is it's going to get into the ground, and then when the ground is tilled, it's a forever chemical. It doesn't really go anywhere. It has a terrible half-life. So the next time that it's plowed or tilled, it gets into the dust, and then it gets into
runs off in the groundwater.
It runs off in the groundwater, gets into you know, where we swim and all that kind of shit. But there is a definite link between glyphosate, and lymphoma, and that's something that's come out in the last few years. And there's actually a class action lawsuit against Roundup for that specifically. Notice Roundup's not been taken off the shelves. Notice no action has even been taken in part of Roundup for taking this out of their product. But let me also say
they
that
took it off the shelves in fucking Europe, man.
But sure, but
it's not the United States.
And they might change the name, right? They you know,
still got Skittles too.
There's still 80% glyphosate on the shelf on the end cap, and it's really no different than, you know, they could come out with this class action lawsuit all they want. It doesn't mean that they're going to actually change that glyphosate is being used, because look at asbestos, for example. Back in the 70s, they came out with the information that asbestos is bad for you. That didn't change them using asbestos in building materials. They still use asbestos in building materials. There's no regulations against using asbestos in building materials.
Say it again.
Asbestos or building materials. But the information's there, and it's, you know, you're not supposed to use, you know, you're supposed to take tons of precautions when handling asbestos, you know, but there's no regulations against it, because it's still in commonly, you know, it's been like taken out of a lot of forms of manufacturing, but it's still in some manufacturing, like, because it's a cheap alternative for many different materials, you know, and it's usable. So they're going to continue to use it. They're just going to have more information for you. But yeah, martial artists, fuck a forever chemical. That's basically what, you know, asbestos, all that shit. A lot of those things, they're products of the petroleum era. Products of really I'm thinking it's more the nuclear era. So something in particular with what was the ammonium nitrate prior to the glyphosate, and kind of one of the reasons why glyphosate is needed in the first place is because of the ammonium nitrate industry, which was kind of just starting to come around in the late 1800s, like 1880s, 1890s, right? Something like that. And you have these ammonium nitrate fertilizer companies coming out, but it's incredibly expensive, and most farmers can't afford it. In fact, hardly even known about in agriculture. Farmers are using good old-fashioned chicken shit, cow shit, manure, the good stuff. And come into the post World War II era, where they actually were using the ammonium nitrate for munitions, for arms. They were using lots of it because it creates bombs and explosives. And so they were using all this ammonium nitrate. And well, they had an excess and a surplus of this in the end of the war. And so the best thing that they could use this ammonium nitrate for was now they were able to lower the cost for farmers' fertilizers. So they reconfigured all that ammonium nitrate, turned it back into fertilizer, which it originally was at a high price, but now it's at a bulk supply. And they're able to offer it at a low price. So they have snake oil salesmen go across the country, across the Midwest, most importantly, selling, not selling, giving away ammonium nitrate fertilizers to farmers. And they're like, here, just go toss this out in your fucking grass and see what happens. Well, the shit turned green, the shit grew fast as hell. And next thing you know, they want it all over their entire fucking wheat, corn, rye, grain fields. And that's where the ammonium nitrate industry kind of came from. In like the 50s, the 60s, and the 70s, it fucking blew up. And basically what it does is it gets into the soil and completely destroys microbial life. It kills everything that it touches. It basically deionizes everything. And in turn, creating a monoculture crop and taking away any form of balance, you now are required the glyphosate, the herbicide, and all of that. So it's kind of been a vicious cycle for the last 80 years, going on 100 years. And it's only gotten worse. And it seems
this is something we just learned actually from Joe Rogan episode.
Yeah. You can hear a lot of this information very recently.
An old fourth generation farmer from the South, deep South, and he converted his conventional farm to a more permaculture type farm, organic, more just the organic. Regenerative, yeah. And he did a whole thing, and it was a really cool episode.
He talks about the glyphosate.
That was a great episode. I agree with you guys.
And there's a huge comparison when we were talking about the chickens and how we can like grow chickens in 60 days. And that's the lifespan. The thing is, the chicken can live like 8 or 9 years, and a cow can live like 25 years and things like that. However, a conventional cow and a conventional chicken, the selected breeds that they use today and the hormones and things that they give them to fatten them up so fast, they won't live more than a couple of years. In the case for a cow, it won't live more than like 18 months. You know, past their harvest date, they're not designed to live, even though the natural life cycles 100 times, whatever it is, you know what I mean?
The way he described it, I thought was best, was what he said. Imagine if what would you look like if you gained that much weight that fast as a human? You'd be a gigantic.
He compared it to the American diet.
Morbidly obese animal that, you know, eventually you're gonna die prematurely if you continue to eat a diet like that. So
and that is our diet.
And those animals are dying from the same diseases that sedentary humans are dying from. Eating that.
Yeah. So like a diet of, you know, just carb, you know, whatever is calories. Like most of us are like, oh, we need X amount of calories a day to survive. It's not calories, it's minerals. We need minerals to survive, not calories. We need calories, but in the form of minerals. Potato chips don't get us there, even though they're on the store shelves and they're designed as food. I mean, it's technically not, it's and maybe a type of substance, but in honesty, when we're talking about like cannabis, and a lot of us talk about cannabis as health, and the reason that I go down the food and health train so much is because it's like adding water to a barrel with a hole at the bottom, and your feet are getting wet and you're getting soaked, but you're just going to sit there and continue to add water to this barrel. Like, so you're going to smoke cannabis to try to relieve a headache when the cause of the headache is like nutrition or something like that. Or you're going to smoke cannabis to alleviate cancer, or you're going to take cannabis oil to alleviate cancer when the first step should be, you know, your diet first, because the cannabis isn't going to work. You're putting a Band-Aid on that hole in the barrel with, like, I don't know, cellulose or something that's just going to dissolve incredibly fast. You're like, the Band-Aid's made out of sugar, it's such a temporary fix that there is no cure, when cannabis actually has curing potential. But you have to, you can't just allow, you have to like take other steps to allow cannabis's curing potential to be effective. And that is like where our body's immune system comes into play to like help fight health and cure. And it all kind of starts with like what we're putting in our bodies. That's like, and the chemicals could be in the cannabis too. So, I mean, there's like, how medicinal is cannabis if it's, grown in a way that's, detrimental to your health, and things like that. So, I mean, it's only as healthy as you are allowing it to be, including the way that you approach your session.
Yeah, there's a lot of translation between the human body and how, like you're saying, with it's the minerals we're after. Same thing with the plants. They need to.
Yes.
Our newts. Those are just minerals. Those are the minerals that we're trying to supply to the plant. I mean, food that the plant eats. That's not really the minerals. The minerals is what's taken to be used for all the plant processes, but it's getting most of the stuff it needs out of as long as it's getting sunlight, it's going to be taking in carbon through the air.
It's a comparison where people think that plants just need water.
Right.
You're like, oh, just give it water. That's all it needs is water. Humans just need calories. That's I guess there's my analogy right there. Whereas plants need minerals and humans need minerals. We're all the same. We're the same in the sense that, carbon-based life beings that have very similar requirements, including pH, pH regulation for mineral absorption. That is real in humans, just the same as it is in plants. Like, if you want, the difference is that we're not acidic, we're alkaline beings, where plants are a little bit more acidic and neutralized. We need to be a little more alkaline. That's a big difference, Plants are acids and humans are alkaline. There's a difference.
True.
I believe we're both sentient. I believe we're both conscious in our own way. Yeah, I think that's that's our carbon difference is pH, acidity. I'm gonna make that claim. It's nothing else biological. Plants have a nose they can smell. I think they could probably hear, in a sense, right? They have some sort of a.
It's definitely gas exchange, right? Through the
gas exchange. There you go.
You know what I mean? So for sure, there
seem to have some sort of a pulse. Hook them up to
those. You seen that guy? Who is it? This hooks the plant up that makes the music.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Oh yeah.
The mushrooms.
Yeah, he's been.
Stamets?
No. There's a couple of them.
They hook them to plants. They hook these electrodes or something.
Cosmic Knots
makes
one of the bands
different music.
I think they're one of the bands that does that. But yeah, they hook up electrodes and stuff. I think it's called The Secret Life of Plants. I might be wrong in that title, but I think it's The Secret Life of Plants. And that has a lot to do with sentient reactions from plants. Like, even, like there's the common one that's like yelling at the plant and talking nicely to the plant, and those two outcomes. And then there's the one of like, the love and the hate one, and then but the one that really trips me up is the one where the grower of the plant would be like in another town doing something, and then like they would record like their thought, but like they would do something where they're like talking nicely about the plants, but like on the other side of town, and the plant was responding to it. Like, it was super bizarre. So there's like even more of a connection than just a localized energy exchange. Like, this energy exchange makes sense, right? I can like maybe emit a little bit of a zap to it. Put out the.
Are you talking about plant to human telekinesis?
Like Baked, for example. Like, to think that I could sit here and go enough, and then all of a sudden Baked starts itching his ear, because I was like tickling his ear from here. That's kind of like what they're just, you know, this connection is like, you know, somebody's like on the other side of town.
So this is in a book, you're saying?
This is in a book, and there's, you know, I don't think that the actual scholarly articles are in it, but they're more like referencing the data from these things taking place. So it's a pretty interesting book, but it itself is not the data. It's a book about the data, which is pretty interesting. I think it's The Secret Life of Plants. So it talks about plant sentience and just kind of gets into the connection between humans and plants. And some of us may or may not have taken psychedelics. And when I've gone down into that rabbit hole, I've felt very fluid, and like everything is way more natural. Even like things that are man-made, I feel like they're like more part of nature than not. And now technological things like the computer and shit that's like not like this comes from like sand. It's more simple alchemy than not, you know, whereas the computer is a lot more, and like those kind of things almost get a little more alien. It's very bizarre, whereas the plastic bag would be a little more alien, you know. This might be a little more natural, you know, things like that.
You should
But hold on.
smoke
But that grinder was made from a crazy machine in a factory that's like and cutting it out of metal
With a computer.
with a computer.
With
So
a
it's
computer.
basically as
Made out
technologically
of silicone
advanced.
chips.
Right.
Probably made from
Yeah.
sand.
Right. But
Same as that glass that you held up.
basically what they did was they took that metal that was like, you know, that metal was just kind of chilling. It was like, hey, man, I'm just kind of
Well, first it was probably coal and iron.
but the metal didn't do it. The metal was just like chilling in a pile of scrap, man. And all of a sudden he's like, oh, what are you doing with me? Hey, pick me. Hey, what's this machine you're putting me in? Hey, wait a minute. What are you clamping this thing onto my? Hey, how come you're grinding me, man? Stop. And so the metal goes through. This is not the metal's fault, man. The metal's still natural.
ridiculous.
The
But metallurgy is alchemy at its basics.
You
You
combine,
just-
yeah.
Well, this is an alloy, most likely, of probably aluminum and.
I like that it's green.
It's really weird to me. Well,
It's super dirty.
yeah, what's that? That's like an anodizing of some sort because it doesn't come off.
Maybe they powder coat it.
Like to me, like this seems like it's a aluminum on the side, but fuck, I don't know how. Like I'd imagine this is like surgical steel for it to not turn into little shreds. You know what I mean?
How you know it's
Maybe
not.
it is. Maybe it is.
Yeah.
Here, maybe.
That's
It
why you
might
gotta-
be, but the
Some
way
of
that
them
it's
do like
like,
that, though.
look at the side. The side looks aluminum from it, like getting banged together. Like it looks like it's
Yeah.
mailed, like a hammer mailed it down.
Maybe you should like Google it.
I don't know, but careful with your grinders because there are the cheaper grinders that will let metal shavings into your weed. But like,
Yep.
like all those blades are still well anodized. They're not like chipped or anything. This is a couple years old now. It's time to get a new one for
Yeah.
sure.
Gotta get a good brand.
It's
They'll tell you their metal. Yeah, Santa Cruz is a good one.
good one.
You know they use good metal that's not gonna have shards in it.
And I mean, this is all cut up. A knife did tear up the anodizing on the top, so you can see where it's been all cut up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got.
What did it do to you?
I mean, that's been cut in paper.
Oh.
Every now and then, I cut little pieces of paper.
I like this style.
It kind of looks like I cut a lot of paper, but I really don't.
Mhm.
Yeah, I like that too. Is that just the little pins?
Yeah, this is my favorite grinders, the sweet leaf.
How does it when it gums up? Does it lock? Or it can
I don't
get-
ever gum it up. I keep it clean so it doesn't gum up. This is like 2 years old or 3 years old.
I had to
Something like
How do
actually.
you keep it clean?
How do I
Soak
keep it
that thing in
clean? Once
alcohol.
once it even starts to even get a hitch in it, I'll just
Oh, that's so much.
take alcohol and clean it.
What do you mean so much work?
So much work.
Well, when are you? How are you?
Well, I
Nothing like
like
cleaning a grinder. A
how are
metal
you supposed
grinder.
to use it
looks
if
so
soaking
new.
alcohol?
I'll sit there.
It takes like 1 hour of soaking. Put it in a bag, a Ziploc bag. You just have one, I saw. And then you shake that around, let it soak. Shake it around, let it soak.
You have one. I just saw it.
You can
And
just
then
put Spartan's Bliss Bud in
good.
there, and that'll clean it right up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
usually the Citrique does it.
Yeah,
for
put your
us.
Citrique in there.
Yeah, anything with the lime needle will
Or
just clean it right up.
sometimes I'll take it apart and pour some alcohol in, put it together, and shake it
What about? I like
over
to
the
put
sink.
vegetable oil around.
I could
the-
put vegetable oil around the
outside.
outside edge.
just like on a Q-tip, like a tiny, teeny amount, and then you
While
wipe
you're
it
trying to grease it up.
I don't think we should be using. Let me tell you about vegetable
I
oil.
use actually
Yeah,
alcohol.
tell
I go
us-
to
let me
Sam's Club
tell
and
you.
buy
off. Wipe it
alcohol
off.
swabs.
Hydrogenized oils.
So I use one of these and I just use a dab tool and rub it around the outside edge and it's clean. I'm good to go.
We finally got a couple boxes. We did one of them Sam's Club runs, and we were like, let's get a bunch of stuff that's not food, stock up on medicine supplies and stuff. And we got a box of those alcohol wipes, and every time we do a job that involves, wiping things, what was the last one that we did? We needed them. I don't
Wiping
know,
what kind of
taking
things?
fucking clones or something. We're like,
What was the last wiping thing you did?
usually morning routine, but I don't need the little tiny little alcohol wipes for that one. The little fucking alcohol wipes we have in a box, we never fucking use them, dude. We need to put them right here next to us. Is what
That's
we're
what I did. I've got them right here in a holder, right with it in reach. Clean a dab tool. It's fucking nice to have a little alcohol.
This little thing.
Oh, there you go. That's pretty good. Get some cotton. We need more.
That's sweet.
That's what. Yeah,
Usually there's Q-tips in it.
probably nice for cleaning scissors in between.
There you go. I like that.
Rather than just soaking scissors all day, just like trim a bud or two and then just wipe them with a little alcohol swab.
I saw a little 91.
Shout out Grandmaster Level in chat.
Here's GMO.
Ew.
Don't be trying to get me run for governor. No, thank you. No,
Governor.
Governor.
Oh, I'm moving.
I'll vote for you.
Thank
But
you. Okay, I changed my mind. I want to be governor. I want to be governor.
What's your pretzel policy?
Where are you gonna move, painted lady?
What?
I've got
Hawaii.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
What a surprise. Pick the most expensive state to live in.
I wouldn't. That's not where I would live. Actually, I would. I mean, hey, if I had
Sounds
some money,
fun for a day.
yeah, but no, I don't know where I would go. Where I would go if I moved to a different state.
I don't know either.
Well, I've lived in Texas. That's the only other state I've lived in besides Michigan.
I really like South Carolina.
I was gonna say North Carolina or Tennessee.
Those are like popular homesteading states.
I think I can make home just about anywhere. I mean, I don't want to be in the desert, obviously, but
Or out in Montana or something. That'd be cool too.
yeah.
In the middle of nowhere.
Give me some Starlink though. I need to have some internet.
Yeah.
Got to stream.
I think they have internet.
They get more cows than they get people out there.
Maybe.
This sounds beautiful though. I mean, just that alone, that's the selling point to me.
The cow to human ratio.
Yeah, more.
Okay.
As long as it's not a crazy high cow ratio. I just like the idea of not a lot of people around all the time.
Yeah.
But I'm really happy with Michigan. I can't complain. If I wanted it, I'd just move north. Just keep going north. Get into the Upper Peninsula, and you pretty much have a really low population density anyway. You just gotta like winter, I guess.
There's like 1,200 people in Kalkaska where I'm at.
There's
No,
a reason for that. That's kind of the weed mecca of the north. So that's gonna draw some people. You can't even find a damn house up there. It's retarded.
No, can't even find a house. Bummer.
Well, I don't know. I guess I think if I think about it, it's really kind of nice because that means that's going to bring growth, and eventually that's going to hopefully bring.
I
more
hope so. I
development.
mean, you think that stuff would really are. I mean, because there really is a lot of places up there, so you would have already thought people would be like building, but
Have you noticed if the prices moved at all? Have they been going up, going down?
it seems to kind of like stabilized a little bit, but I know interest rates are really high right now.
That's
Or
true.
going up higher, I guess I should say. I've noticed a few more places, but they've not been. That's the problem. You find something and it's either, not worth the money or needs too much fixing up to where, it's not something that's feasible, or it's just too extravagant because I don't want extravagant because I'm not one of them kind of people. So I just can't find me a little old simple old house for this simple old person here, and so keep looking.
Yeah, there you go.
What's meant to be, it'll happen.
Agreed.
But all the signs up here, it's funny. The further north I kept coming today, it kept saying, "Winter's coming.
Winter's coming.
Winter's coming."
There's a beauty in winter, but there's also where it starts to get old, But there's times where I'll walk past my window and look out the window, and I'll be like, God damn, because I do have that field across the street from me. So when that gets all covered in snow and stuff, it's fucking beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's gorgeous. But it was a nice weekend. It was beautiful out.
Oh yeah, for sure. I was outside a couple of times just today, just because it was nice.
I was in Cincinnati and it was 76. It was really nice. I brought sweatshirts and jeans. I was like, oh, this is not working. Yeah, I was like, this ain't working.
It was like raining. What day was that? Yesterday when it was raining? It was raining here a little bit, I think, yesterday, but Emily was over and we were coming back from the store, and she pointed out the window. She's like, damn, there's a rainbow right there. I'm like, that looks like it's right over the house. And I shit you not, when I got home, well, actually, when we came around the corner, there was a double rainbow. There's a faint second rainbow, like just perfectly spaced from the first rainbow. And that's the first time I've ever seen a complete double rainbow before.
Did you freak out?
But when I got to the house, I could only see the original rainbow, but it was bright as shit. And I went right out to the back porch and I just filmed it, put it on my Instagram story. But I thought that was, I forgot to talk about that. I wanted to bring that up because that's the first time I've ever, for once, seen a double rainbow complete from one side to the other. It was fucking cool.
That's fun.
Yeah,
but it was right at the edge of the storm. So like we were stopped and we saw the double rainbow that was raining just a little bit, but that had stopped, and there was like the sun shining behind us. Was it what?
The full circle? This is the full like.
No, it was just it went from the ground to the right of me all the way over the sky to the ground.
Have you ever seen a full?
I have not.
Circular rainbow?
No.
Those ones are bizarre. I think
like where would that be? Like where in the sky?
Yeah, you'd have to be looking at the sun.
I think I've seen them. I think I've either seen them at altitude or in the mountain. I've seen them before. It's like a full round rainbow. It's super.
Was this on any substance, Red?
Yeah, I don't know.
I did want to catch on one little thing because I kind of saw. I'm not sure who put it up in chat, but they were just wondering. There's something about the fucking talking about asbestos being banned or something like that. It's not banned. Like they still use asbestos currently. It's in like brake pads and stuff like now. They import it. They import materials that have it in it. It's not banned. It's like, I don't know. It's been regulated.
Yeah, you gotta have like special. You basically have to pay people to remove it if it's on the building.
100% out there.
The disposal, you can't just.
No, like brand new manufacturing. It's still used in new manufacturing, not just.
Right, but I imagine the same rules apply. Like if you have
100%. Yeah, 100%. For manufacturing. I'm sure there's like EPA. There's EPA. Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm sure there's those who are manufacturing brake pads. I'm sure under strict, regulations. Well, there's ways of importing products with it, including roofing materials and insulating materials, and it's cost effective is the problem. That's been the problem with everything. It's cost effectiveness. They're trying, I don't know, man. That's the money note, the gold currency, and the money note is all. I mean, the way they treated inflation, like you can't tell me that you couldn't have worked out. You know, like cost was an issue with all this stuff. You had to work on the most cost-effective ways when they were just printing money. I don't know. It's a rabbit hole to get down, so I'm not going to get into it. But at the same time, there's probably easier ways, or probably less detrimental ways we could have gone about the last 100 years. I think. I don't know. I really don't know. It's too late to do anything about it. So the only thing we can do is keep growing more plants and biomass and closing loops. That's all we can do. So
Close the loop.
just try to inform and let people know where our modern day came from. You know, that's the important thing. Where we've come from, because we're here.
Hey, Red, did you end up popping in the archive?
Yeah, that's a full moon. There's a full moon coming up, and I want to get into it. I swear, every time we talk about wanting to get into seeds, there's like 6 other things.
Is that a threat? Was that a threat, Red? It's a full moon coming up.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, what does that mean?
Pop seeds.
I'm going to sit in the woods next week, so there goes anything then. And so in order for us,
He's gonna go hunting.
I'm gonna go try to bring some food home.
So you get
Put it in
solo
the
dolo
fridge.
Becca.
So
He's gonna go. He's gonna go his annual visit to talk to the Squatch.
I'll go
Yeah.
talk to old Squatchy. I'm gonna go get teased by fucking deer all weekend, and
I brought a cheese stick, Sasquatch. You want it?
Is that the trick, Big? I need a cheese stick. We have cheese sticks.
Maybe, dude. They're cheap. Grab one.
Make sure you get not only the white cheese but the combo, the white cheddar too.
And the problem is, for sure, bears like it.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
So you might get one of those first, but
I have a bad problem of bringing snacks.
Throw it the other way.
Yeah, I'm like
Are you
one of
going
those.
north enough where there's bears?
Yeah, there's bears in the woods.
Yeah,
there's everywhere in this country.
You don't have to go very far north to
bear
get bears.
country
for sure. But there. So what's really cool is some of you actually in chat may know exactly what I'm talking about. But there is a store north of Hale, Michigan, on 65 called the Bear Store, and this store used to house a little black bear, and there's a stuffed bear.
House it.
It was like their pet. Yeah, it was like a pet black bear that they had. They had
it was a captive.
It was a captive. It was totally a captive. It was a little zoo. Yeah, they had like goats and shit.
They kept it as a baby.
They had a bear. They had some deer. It was a little like northern Michigan.
I know a guy here. I know a guy in Unadilla like that.
And
3 black bear.
Well, what's funny is now there is a taxidermied black bear inside the store.
Oh.
and then
no.
There's a sign that says this is not, our there's a sign that says this is not the bear, because when I was a kid, I would go there and go visit the bear, and now you have all these people my age that are like, is this fucking bear friend?
Yeah.
Like, so it's kind of funny. It's a beautiful area where you lose cell phone signal. And the Jack Pines Tower, everything in sight. The Asabo River runs wild through this area.
You're just weaving such a beautiful story.
I know I am.
Yeah, you're basically describing every wilderness horror story.
The Asabo opens up into like a lake in this area. It's very cool.
It's like opening of The Shining. What Red is describing.
What was the one?
Well, the rollways is where it's at, man. Because the rollways,
with the incest people.
You go down the rollway and you're gonna get down in the murkiness of the banks
people?
of the Asabo River.
Are there feral people?
Probably in the sides of the rollway, because I'll tell you, I was walking down the stairs of the area, and I'm walking back. I'm looking left and I'm looking right, and I'm going, well, fuck, I went down an awful long way, and now I have to go back up. And it's going to take me a while to go back up. There's no being safe. I mean, it's fucking the middle of winter. I'm in a park.
Oh my God.
Closed. I'm in the side of a hill, and then I start thinking about where caves and dens are. Oh, those are in the sides of hills. Fuck, what am I doing? I'm looking, and there's all kinds of fucking caves and dens on the side of this fucking hill. And I start kind of getting a little more paranoid. I'm like, I got to get the fuck back up these stairs. The stairs have like this much snow on them. You know what I mean? So I can't just like, I'm looking, dude, and I'm like, I'm all the fucking way down this rollway, man. I'm hundreds of feet down this thing. And so that means I have to hike all the way back up these fucking stairs. Fortunately, I didn't see anything. I heard some like sniffling and some type shit.
Like,
And I got the fuck out of there, dude. Yeah, man.
were
But
they
like,
smelling you?
like get the fuck out of there is like, you know, like moving like one step at a time because you're like weighed down with fucking 40 pounds of gear. That's me in the woods. I pack with 40 pounds of gear because you never know, and there's going to be a black bear that's going to take out your leg. And you have to make a fire with 2 sticks and a poncho.
So dramatic.
Well, it's for the story, of course.
Are you telling me you don't have a lighter in your pocket? What?
So once you
You
kill
get 2 sticks? You should have a lighter in your pocket.
In case
For
it gets
God's
wet,
sake.
man. The lighter
Once
might
you-
Corners. If we're going outside, you have to fucking have a lighter in your pocket.
I
I'm
have.
not talking about going out in the woods.
well, that's how you start forest fires. You
That's
might
like
not wanna
half
do
of
that.
the weight in my pocket is fire making materials,
Oh God.
matches, wet start. There's some of that.
Why not just put a couple lighters in your pocket, man?
Got everything.
I
So
have
if you kill a deer or whatever, are you gonna pop the seeds?
pop the seeds after I kill the deer. Oh, that
Yeah, as
sacrifice.
like a ritual. Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
going to use some of the blood of the deer to germinate
That's
the
what I'm
seeds
saying.
in.
Oh man.
Wow, we're getting deep, guys. All right.
Blood seeds.
Let's do it.
Tara, hey Tara, welcome to the late sesh.
Welcome to the late sesh.
Yeah, it's been very late session today.
I mean,
Sorry.
I don't have too much going on in the garden.
we're in fall. I mean, I can do these pagan rituals. We need deer blood. I'll bring some deer blood. Let's go. And I'm all about however we need to get through winter, man. If it takes some deer blood to get through winter,
Jeez Louise.
well,
Suddenly it went through
With shot.
just killing a deer to the deer blood getting us through winter.
wait.
Blood sausage.
I don't want to just kill the deer. I'm going
The
to
light.
hunt the deer for food. There's a harvest. We harvest deer.
Well, yeah, you're gonna get the meat.
Or harvest deer.
What are you gonna use the bones for?
To make bone meal so he can supplement his outdoor plants with calcium.
Thinking,
Oh, good idea. What about the skin, the leather?
oh, the hide's easy. I
Are you
mean,
gonna make armor? Are you
Well,
gonna make
I'm certainly going to make
blanket?
a shawl.
He's going to
A
make some chaps.
shawl. Very
He's gonna make
nice.
some chaps.
I'll get a shawl.
I'm wearing a deer
Um,
shawl.
I'm not
He's
one
gonna
to the
make,
head.
make some chaps, man.
I got
Some,
plenty
some,
of shirts that will last.
some deer hide chaps. That's what he's making.
The antlers, however, I'm very excited to like make like dab tools and some other things out of the antlers. I think
Oh, after you hack them off with a hacksaw.
off of the harvested dead deer.
The
I would
sacrificial
saw them
deer?
off The hacksaw.
Yeah.
Right.
So these are blood dab tools then.
Yeah.
blood diamond
Yeah,
tool.
just like the hamburger that you order
It's
at
just like blood
McDonald's.
diamonds. This is blood dab tools. I just want to be clear. You're gonna need to put a
No,
marking
man.
on it
No,
so
no.
that people who buy it
So-
know.
So the way that this
No,
market is, the way
But
that
those should be wild harvested baked. I don't know if you know this, but
This is much
they actually
different.
drop their antlers every year, and you can just come across them in the woods. You don't have to have
Oh,
any
that's
blood
cool. I
associated
should
at all.
check my
Yeah,
woods.
that's it. See, that's it, man. We're not Zales. So the way that we're
What's the
gonna
point
do
of
this-
that?
We're gonna do the
It's the fastest growing like thing in fastest growing organic thing, I believe, because I remember in weightlifting they were trying to grind it up as like a stimulant, like it was going to be like human growth hormone or something because of how quickly
what
they
is
grow.
The
Antler.
antlers?
oh the antlers.
Yeah, but what's the point of them dropping off before winter so that they can not
Yeah,
have
they-
antlers in winter?
They
I don't
only
know.
need antlers for mating season so that they can fucking duke it out.
Oh,
So it's
yeah,
just so they
duke
can
it out
duke
with the
it
other
out, yeah.
people. Okay.
Is
Well,
that not
good.
Because it's
wild
actually
how fast? You see the size of some
yeah,
Bucks racks, man. That fucker.
because it's actually a bad thing, babe. Because they
Every
get caught
year.
in everything trying to go through the forest.
Every
It's
year.
he's
Yeah.
always getting snagged and shit. So It's
they
better
use
for them to fall off.
more every year.
Every year.
Yep.
That's why they there's some.
It starts out, it's covered in velvet as it's
Yeah,
growing.
they're all fuzzy. They're all
Velvet
fuzzy.
peels off of it. And
I'm gonna
they
give
really
my
brush it
deer
against the trees and shit to get the
bunch
velvet
of
off of it.
Honeycrisp
It's like,
next year.
Figure out
And it's
texture.
bone.
Yeah,
it's bone.
it's not bone. It's like it's hard, but it's not really.
Their
bone.
antler material. It's calcium.
What is
It's
antler?
like our fingernails. Kind of like our fingernails and shit.
Yeah.
What?
But
similar
much
material.
stronger.
Yeah. It's a
Well, because it's thicker.
yeah. Probably much stronger. So I'm sure it's high in calcium though. I'm sure you could definitely use that shit in your garden for calcium inputs. You could probably ferment it. You could probably you mill it up, grind it up, and put it in a jar make some KNF out of it.
Yeah. Add it to your garden.
Calcium, yeah, it might be a good source of calcium. Good available source of calcium, like eggshells or something.
You can harvest the brain and use it to tan the hide.
That's an interesting one. I was reading something, here is one thing. Liver is a very common one, and I wouldn't suggest eating liver because of the glyphosate issues and because of like high pesticides and stuff like that. That the concentration of that stuff ends up in those filters. So when you're using those filters, like for your soups and your stocks and stuff like that, or even to give your pets, I would avoid that if you're trying to do the holistic approach. Unfortunately, a majority of our hunted game is hunted on farmland, and that's going to pose its own problem just from what's going to get bound up in the meat, let alone what's going to be in the filters of the animal. So the filters are very important, and there's actually I think like a DNR caution to
Do not resuscitate.
not eat the livers and shit.
Department of Natural
Don't
Resources.
resuscitate them deer out there. You shoot that son of a bitch. That thing's dying. You don't touch it. We don't want no deer resuscitated. Goddamn medical bills.
Yeah, medical bills. That's man. And then there's
That's crazy up here.
they also want you to take your heads in and get them checked. They want you to drop off your head to the DNR station.
I did hear about there's some new rules with
Is if you're in there's many areas of the state actually. There's only a few areas where they don't recommend that you do it. So most of the state is recommended, and that's for chronic wasting disease that we have going on. And then there's also high rates of tuberculosis, which can be spotted in, I believe, the lung tissue. I think if you look at the lungs, and the lungs are spotted in some other areas inside the meat, that animal would probably have tuberculosis. And so you don't want to mess with that. Yeah, we already had a deal with that one. So don't mess with the TB. Deer, you could probably get it tested also if you're unsure. You could just drop off samples at the DNR station or your local buck pole, and they will they'll test it for you or send out a sample to get tested for you. The brain test is an important one because that's going to test for chronic wasting. Using
from chat, Red.
What's that?
There's a question from chat for you. Southern VT grower. You guys going to skin the testicle and slice up some din?
I'll tell you what, dude. So
don't tell me you've done this.
So no, Daddy Red has a musket ball bag that's actually
a scrotum.
Elk scrotum, I believe.
That he shot?
No, I don't think he shot it. I think he got
He
it.
stole a scrotum that he didn't even shoot. Damn.
Yeah, no,
That's how you get cursed.
Something that somebody else might have made, or he got from somebody. I'm sure he's totally gonna fact check me and be like, "That's."
I don't have a scrotum sack.
I think he doesn't say he doesn't have a scrotum sack. I hope he doesn't.
So I mean that's actually like if you think about versatile, material, wasted material, that is one of them. I mean that's a sack that's already made, and it's something you can weave it into.
It is expanding and contract. You make it shrink and get bigger.
or a moose, they're
This is
relatively
such a light
big,
touch.
and I mean, give yourself a nice little, medicine.
What are we talking about here, man? What are we talking about here? What are we talking about?
Cat holder, man. Get your. I mean, well, dude, let's talk about our cannabis farmers. We could keep our seeds in there.
No, you can. Don't say we. Don't bring me into this.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
It's gonna regulate
Bro.
moisture, man. It's gonna help.
Bro, this works great. This works great, and it's not a scrotum.
Dude.
Stack's nice. It doesn't roll around.
It's gonna be the new.
Holds moisture.
Yeah, it's gonna be the new way to store your.
Check it out. I can stack two, and they don't like fall off on each other. Look at that.
Yeah, but it's just so sealed up. There's no ebb and flow of moisture.
What crosses you got there?
Ooh, now you got a moisture. You got a really high moisture scrotum. That's kind of gross, man.
No, I'm saying the scrotum itself acts as like the
Alrighty, guys.
the moisture releaser and retainer, if you will. So it's like it's like storing your hash in a cardboard box.
I would imagine it'd be kind of leathery if it's like
Leathery, yeah, but porous,
We'll
right?
just keep going if you guys don't talk about something else.
a porous. Okay, that's strange. A porous
Porous
scrotum is
enough
still
to hold.
effective. Seems
porous-
ineffective as a scrotum if it's porous.
Porous. Oh, well, yeah, I guess so. You want to shed water.
Yeah. Wow.
On the late sesh
The
tomorrow.
Yeah,
martial artist says it's a new pipe holder. Now we're talking. See? Now we can get some of these. Now we're talking craft, guys. When you can craft up a piece out of nothing, and then you can make your satchel that it can get shipped in.
Coming to you soon from Red Setter Farms.
Well, you don't even have to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
another-
You
Come
can just
in
go to your
deer
local
sacks.
veterinarian clinic.
Where else can you get this?
Veterinarian clinics.
Everybody else uses cardboard boxes. Fuck that.
We've even got the Red Setter image burned into the scrotum for you.
We're gonna get these branded, dude. We get branded
Oh
like our
my
hash
God.
domes, man.
Oh man.
We're gonna have a red.
Baldy Buds is right.
I'm gonna have to hit up Astro Charlie.
Astros be like, I can do it.
What seeds you had there?
What'd you say? I missed it, Pain Lady. Who'd you say?
Polly.
Oh,
Baldy
Ballsy
Bud
Bud.
said she
Ballsy
needs
Bud.
another
I
bong
agree.
hit.
I agree. Too, yeah.
We're subjecting all of these lovely ladies to our
Yeah.
Lowly scrotum talk.
our testosterone.
Come on, just embrace the word, man. Just you can say it. It's not
It's a great
embarrassing.
word,
I
man.
said it a couple
good
times.
word.
It's a
Scrotum?
nice word, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good word.
scrotum.
It spells nicely. Look, Susan Stewart spelt it out nicely in chat.
Will the scrotum be used as a water skin?
They use
Man,
that.
what would that be? Like a fucking one drink? It'd be like a shot.
Yeah,
You'd have to get like a moose scrotum or something. That would be a water sack.
be a good supplement sack, I suppose. Oh, here you go. Yeah, a tincture sack.
Or just wait until you get you'd have to get a really old animal because that's when they get really bigger and they sag and then get that more of a water sack structure.
Coconut. I go with the coconut. I like the coconut idea.
I love coconut. Good almond.
I'm not gonna lie, if I could get away with somehow growing a coconut tree.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, dude. Imagine. All right.
Coconut milk's my favorite.
Yeah, and imagine dude, you have a coconut tree, you have a serious resource. And I don't just mean like the coconut
Yeah.
fire growing, like coconuts.
Just the coconut milk.
Yeah, dude, like there's it's a gnarly protein. It's a great protein. It's a good fat also, and it contains omega 6 fatty acids, and I think it also is going to contain omega 3s, particularly which you're usually only getting in fish, things like that. I'm pretty sure coconut contains both of those, which makes it, and actually cannabis as well. The cannabis nut seed is a nut, contains omega-3 and 6 fatty acids, and a perfect balance of omega-3 and 6 will repel ticks from your body. it's very like that. It's almost more important to have a healthy balance of omega-3 and 6 than it is to like have minerals. You know, we were talking about minerals. Like it's almost like those that balance in the pH is like going to help your mineral absorption that much better. And it's in your cannabis nuts. So yeah.
Nuts.
Full of cannabis nuts. Scrotum full of cannabis nuts. Back to that again is that it's going to save your life, man.
No, there's been people have been eating hemp seed or cannabis seed for hundreds of years. They used to grow it to eat the seed because of that, because it had the amino acids they needed.
Yes, those ones are the main ones, dude. There's somehow those ones are they're going to convert other into proteins and all kinds of stuff. They're like they help our body absorb micro amounts of minerals. So like you know, we can fast. Like you can fast for a very long time and perform very well with just having those fatty acids. If they do, they turn into other forms of carbohydrates and shit.
Here, have some water.
Give me some water.
Oh my god.
It's coming up for air. Get a drink of water.
Next time on the Food Network.
Thiophosphates.
I didn't even eat any mushrooms this time. We were supposed to. And I started talking and I never got the scale out. So forgot that idea.
Well, there goes
time.
Yeah.
The night is still young.
I missed hash time 45 minutes ago, so hash time.
Baked even yelled out ding. You didn't hear the ding?
Yeah.
I must have been talking about asbestos and wipes.
No.
Not you.
Must have. Oh man. Didn't help.
All that started was with a fucking, hey, you popping some seeds?
Let me tell you
you
about
went-
popping seeds.
And you went, I'm gonna go sit in the woods. Hang on.
Dude, I cannot wait to be an old motherfucker,
Oh.
dude. Well, okay, all right.
That's gonna be nuts. Red old.
Really fly by. Okay.
Well, that means
day
we're
I'm
gonna
gonna
be
an
old though, so
motherfucker.
that's gonna be kind of funny.
One day I'm gonna be an old motherfucker, and I'm gonna really enjoy those days because I'm gonna have these same stories, and they're just gonna be that much more elaborate because I'm gonna be an old motherfucker that's able to add those like, let me tell you about this shit, you know, because I can't add those yet. You know
The
what I mean?
personal flair. Yeah,
If I could add that to these stories, let me tell you about that shit.
I like it.
Becca's face says it all right now.
Can't wait.
I have to hear
Cannot wait.
He's
again.
gonna get to experience it. That's gonna be the best part.
1,000 times.
Same
Oh,
stories.
dude. Oh, yeah. The same stories. I practice them on her, and you know. Then
Becca, my dear scrotum idea was a killer. I can't
Thank you.
believe we never did it.
First, he did not run that one past me first. Oh no!
You
no.
told me we couldn't talk about scrotums for 10 minutes. I showed you.
we're talking about closing loops, man. You know, we gotta close the loops, and
That's closing one for sure. That's a loop I would never really considered closing, but
that's right. The Organic Cup is going to be in Benton Harbor, Michigan this next week. Next weekend. That is hosted by a collaboration between Big Cloud Farms and the Organic Cup. What is it? The Third Eye.
What are you talking about?
I'm
now?
talking about the Gage Green Group's stuff that he's got collabed with Big Cloud. If you're in that area, go down there and check it out. We're thinking about attending or vending, or they might be booked up, so we don't know, but we may or may not. But Dragonfly Earth Medicine and a handful of other closed loop type growers are going to be in attendance there, and they might even be talking about how to close loops. So if that's something that you're interested in, check out the Organic Cup. It's going to be a little bit different.
We were thinking about checking it out.
I think Brandon Rust is also coming up, and he's talking and doing some.
That'd be cool.
Maybe Obokashi is going to be there, and that's why he's coming up. I'm not
That'd be pretty
sure.
cool.
I just seen his name on the bill. So yeah, there's a lot of good information about closing loops coming to our state or to a state near you in that sense. And then just keep doing what you can to try to figure out how to go ask your local feed store for organic feed. We just need to really trip up these people. Start asking for organic stuff. Even if you don't have an organic garden, just go ask for it at the feed store. Just get this stuff on their mind. It's not even on their it's not on their radar at all. It's available. They'll order it. They'll special order it. Talk to them. They're like, oh, okay. Because then all of a sudden she was like, well, can't you just use this? And I was like, well, the problem is that will affect the organic structure of my entire garden. Like that alone, bringing in that one input can literally take that 3-year process to start over again. So it needs to be on their radar, that way. And I know organic is marketing, so I'm going for better than organic, but I'm trying to use certain systems. They have what? What are they?
Dem Pure certification.
Well, yeah. So it's a certification. You can say whatever about the certification, but there are steps, right? There's the guidelines, right? Whether it's certification or a Dem Pure certification, there's guidelines that are pretty good. So I like to at least adhere to a lot of, even if I'm not certified, you know what I mean? I like to pretend I'm certified and adhere to certain guidelines that I think are for the better. Now, some guidelines that I think are wishy-washy or maybe like for marketing or something, I might question. But otherwise, like most of these guidelines, I don't really question these guidelines. Like, closing loops and, minimizing inputs or, cleaning your inputs, fact checking inputs, etc. I find there to be great benefit in all of that, so nothing wrong with any of that. You want your water? Here you go. I stole the water. But yeah, those guys are going to be there talking about all that stuff. And they also discuss all that at the Regen conference. So you can find a lot of their information just online. You don't have to attend. But their Dem Pure certification, they're a couple of the most informational groups when they get into like what kinds of plants to use for your IPM or even for your permaculture design. I mean, they have a whole list of like high potassium plants. They have a whole list of like, and they talk about this stuff openly in their YouTube seminar. I mean, this stuff's all available on YouTube. Just search them out. Dragonfly Earth Medicine. They're doing some good stuff, We actually want to get Dem certified. I'd love to get Dem certified. Just add one more thing. Whether or not anybody uses the recognition, we would know that we're Dem certified. I think it'd be good for us, just to know that, hey, we accomplished these guidelines. I think that's
They don't
huge.
do personal gardens, so it has to be.
It could be our medical cannabis garden, though, which is outdoor, and our medical seed garden and all of that. So that's the only thing they just don't do yet, personal gardens. But they almost require vegetable gardens and closed loops. So we've looked at their guidelines and we think that we fit them all. The only thing that we do that we would have to ask about is bring in our cannabis waste from the farm that's synthetic, but it's non-spray. So is that biomass okay to be composted on our property? That's my only question, because we do. And we also compost our root balls. But to me, that's helping lower our carbon footprint. That's helping minimize waste and close loops. So if we threw that stuff in the trash, we'd be worse than what we are. So
yeah, compost it. I'd use your chickens. Just throw it in the chicken yard, and the chickens will compost it.
They should. Yeah, absolutely. And so I think that like the benefits that we have should outweigh that one little. But again, they're the ones to answer. And if I don't make it, at least I know I've set all these other guidelines. And if I can't get certified, big fucking deal. At least I hit all the other certifications, and I'll create a new fucking certification that says you can compost your indoor cannabis waste on your fucking property, because you should be able to compost that shit. So I'm not saying that they don't allow that. I have to talk to them, and I want to. I think it'd be really cool for us to.
Well, if you go out there, you probably have a chance to just go up and talk to them.
Hey, you do. Yeah. So we're going to try to at least make it out there for a day, even if we don't get out there to vend. We're going to at least try to just attend. Right. And then next Sunday, there's going to be another Third Eye art and craft affair, and every Sunday from 11 to 5, at least until the end of the year. And we're hoping that's going to continue to go. It was a great day for Safe Access. Tara, thank you so much for coming out. It was great.
It was super fun.
Come
Thank
out.
you.
We had a dude. I don't have his stash in front of me, and it's actually locked up in the case, and I can't access it in the moment. I'll give him a shout out tomorrow night. He was next to us. Fuck. I'm gonna give him a shout out. We have 8 minutes. You guys figure it out.
Yeah, it was a really nice location. I really didn't know the location too well. I came into Lansing a different way than I ever have before, so that was different for me. But yeah, it was a little shaky there for a minute. I didn't know where we were going, or I should say I was by myself. I didn't know where I was going, and then I got there, and it was really a cool place. So yeah, it was really neat. Ran into Yeti and Amanda and got to hang out with Red and Becca and Astro Charlie and Natalie and saw some others.
Very
So
cool.
super fun. Yeah, it was good.
We tried to join if Sequence wasn't on tour again. So he's out in Jersey, fist pumping and doing his emptying laundry.
I'm anxious to see what kind of food he's going to eat there this time. I always enjoy seeing his food exploits.
Yeah, he was already looking at the.
I'm sure he was.
I don't really.
I would be too, though.
Anything specific, so he was kind of disappointed in that. But he'll find something, and hopefully there'll be a Broski that gets a hold of him and can meet up and hang out, and that'd be
awesome.
We're all missing Skilbo too.
Yes, missing Skilbo.
Skilbo.
Yeah, shout out Skilbo. But how awesome is that he's a grandpa? I can't wait to hear him talk about that. About his
what a great time.
Is that a pendant, Red, or is that actually coming out?
This one is a magnet.
Okay, I was like, geez, pull that up.
It's just driven out. This is from Astro Charlie. He makes this kind of art, and he does do pendants like this. This was a gift from him. Astro's fucking awesome.
He is.
Cool.
Really love him and Natalie. Great people.
That would be cool for a rosin press to hold the paper. That'd be super cool.
Totally. This is a low caffeine. You said this was 2 grams?
Yeah.
Holy fuck. All right. Well, this is a third eye thing.
Mushroom.
Tea. 2 grams. So macro dose with this guy. This is not a microdose bag. This is pretty cool. That's a 1 serving. You can only use a tea bag once. We were thinking to make like a pitcher, and
yeah, that would probably be. Yeah, there's no way I could go in on that one. Whoo-wee!
Yeah.
Highline listens to our show. Highline Cannabis. He listens to the
nice.
show here. I believe he listens to the late session. And he hooked us up with that, and he hooked us up with that's his sticker on this bag that he gave me. I can't. Let's see here. He told me what they were, man, and I had cannabis brain, so that was not. They smell really good, though. This looks really good. This almost reminds me of.
Looks good.
Yeah, it actually smells.
Really good.
Yeah. So yeah, shout out to him. They were actually vending right next to us at the end of the show. He came through and was like, "Hey man, I've been sitting next to you all day," and he knew the show and everything. And give some shout outs. And this is Highline Cannabis. Thank you very much, brother. It was a pleasure meeting you and vending next to you. And I look forward to doing it again and catching up.
Were they the ones selling the candies that were right next to you to the right?
Yeah, they had some really nice edibles on the table. I think, if I'm not mistaken.
I remember. I saw those. Yeah.
Yeah. Very nice presentation.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great event seeing all of these craft, artisans in this area, or in the same room. And it was limited. It was quaint. And the crowd was recognizable, which is really cool. Like it was a lot of the people that attend the Big Cloud events, the Gems of Genetics events, and there's this one dad and his son. You guys know me. They listen to the show. Shout out to you guys. They knew who I'm talking to. They come to like fucking every event and they show us tons of support. You guys fucking rock. They hang out at the events and they do dabs, and it's really cool to see two generations kicking it and enjoying this type of community together. It's super cool. We actually met them at the Spread the Spores event in the beginning, so they're into like the entheogen community as well, and it's really cool to see that as family. And usually taboo shit doesn't linger through generations of family like that. Like, I'll smoke a joint with my dad. I probably won't do mushrooms with my dad, or maybe it'll happen one day. I don't know. Will it, Dad? I don't know. I probably won't do it. So I never know. But I'm getting the taps.
Well, real quick, thank you to Little E-Bud for reminding. I think that's who it was that said there are 32 marijuana-related local proposals on the ballot on Michigan November 8th ballot. Go vote, people. Your voice matters, especially you women out there. Let's go vote.
Yes.
We need a voice. I know there's not many of you out in chat, but those of you that are, you need to be there. Stay, show up, make a difference. It's important. So
Yeah.
anyway.
Vote on those cannabis if they're in your area.
We've got at least Susan and Blue Tits and Mrs. B. We know you're all out there listening.
Anything grows. Yeah, we've got some good people, good ladies that follow us.
Yeah. So anyway, get out there and vote for all the cannabis related issues and all the women's rights issues.
Absolutely.
And we will see you tomorrow for the late sesh at 11 p.m. Anybody have any last thoughts before we go?
No, just stay.
Yeah, did I tell you guys?
Oh my God.
That one